Hey man, you're here because you're stretched thin. Work's a grind, family's pulling you in every direction, and you're trying to keep it all together. You've got YouTube playing in the background, maybe a podcast, a sermon, or some self-help guru while you're answering emails or cooking dinner. It feels like you're doing more, squeezing every second out of the day. I've been there. I used to think blasting videos while working made me productive, but I was just running from the quiet, from the weight of my own thoughts. I'm not some guru with all the answers. I've crashed and burned, missed moments with my kids because I was half listening to something important while folding laundry. I've felt that hollow ache, wondering if I'm failing as a man because I can't focus, can't be present. Christ isn't just a Sunday checkbox. He's the one who meets you when you're too tired to keep up the act. But you can't hear him when your mind's split in 10 directions. That's the truth I had to face. You know the feeling, always on, always distracted. You're the guy everyone counts on, but inside you're wondering if you're enough. You play YouTube to fill the silence, to drown out the doubts, but it's not working. It's just noise. I've sat in my truck scrolling X while a motivational talk droned on and realized I didn't remember a word of it. My heart was somewhere else, and I was too stubborn to admit it. This isn't about shame or being perfect. I've spent years chasing productive, only to end up disconnected from my family, from God, from myself. Leading your family, living with faith, it starts in the small stuff. Not big prayers or grand plans, but in showing up, fully there. Christ said in Matthew 6, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be." If your heart's scattered, you're not leading, you're just surviving. I'm not here to preach or fix you. I'm just a guy who's been in the trenches, learning the hard way that multitasking is a lie. It steals your focus, your presence, your chance to live with purpose. You want faith that works on Monday? It starts with turning off the noise, even for a minute. I failed at this, and I'm still figuring it out. You're not alone in the mess. Christ's right there with you, waiting for you to stop running. This is about truth, not rules. About noticing what's pulling you away from the life you want, the man you want to be. It's not about doing more, it's about being real. Christ doesn't need you to be a machine, he needs you to be you, broken and all. Let's walk through this together. Take a breath, let's see what's next.
You're in your 40s, juggling a job that's eating you alive, kids who need you, and a wife who's wondering where the real you went. You've got YouTube playing while you're fixing dinner or checking work emails, thinking you're hacking life. But you're not. You're half there, missing the moment your son looks at you for approval or when your wife just needs you to listen. Leading spiritually isn't preaching Bible verses at the table. It's being present, showing your family what it looks like to trust Christ when you're stressed and stretched thin. I've missed those moments, lost in noise, and it cuts deep when you see it. Distraction's the biggest thief. You're scrolling X, listening to a podcast, and nodding at your kid's story, but you're not really there. I did that, had a sermon on while driving, thinking I was growing, but I couldn't tell you one thing I heard. It's not just YouTube. It's the habit of keeping your mind busy to avoid the hard stuff. You're running from the quiet where God speaks, where you have to face your doubts or fears. That's where I got stuck, thinking I could outrun my own heart. Pride's another wall. You want to be the guy who can do it all, work, family, faith, without breaking a sweat. I used to think asking for help or admitting I was overwhelmed was weakness, but that's a lie that keeps you stuck. Jesus said in Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest." He's not waiting for you to be a superhero. He's calling you to stop pretending and show up as you are, tired and all. Then there's guilt. You feel like you're failing because you're not praying enough, not leading your family to church, not spiritual enough. I carried that weight, thinking God was judging me for not having it together. But look at Jesus in Luke 5:32. He came for sinners, not the perfect. Your scattered mind, your missed prayers, they don't disqualify you. They're where Christ meets you if you let him. That guilt you're carrying, it's not from him. Pressure's the constant hum in your life. You're supposed to provide, protect, lead, be the rock. But always being on makes you numb. I snapped at my daughter once because I was answering emails with a video blaring, and her hurt face still haunts me. Jesus didn't rush through life. He stopped, saw people, listened, like with the woman at the well in John 4. He was present. That's what your family needs, not a distracted version of you. So how do you notice this in your life? Start catching the moments you're splitting your focus. Maybe it's when you're watching a game but checking work messages, or playing a podcast while listening to your wife. I started seeing it when I'd put on worship music to feel spiritual but was too busy to pray. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I avoiding something real? Christ's there in those questions, not with judgment, but with truth that steadies you. This isn't about becoming a monk or shutting off YouTube forever. It's about small choices, like turning off the noise when you're with your kids or praying for 2 minutes without your phone. I've learned more about God in those quiet, awkward moments than in hours of background sermons. Faith that works on Monday means showing up fully, letting Christ anchor you in the chaos. Your family doesn't need a perfect dad or husband. They need you, real and there. I'm not here with a formula. I'm just a guy who's been burned by distraction, learning to live differently one day at a time. You're not failing because you're overwhelmed or scattered. You're human. Start noticing what pulls you away from God, from your family, from yourself. Name it. Bring it to Christ. He's not waiting for you to get it right. Take a breath. Let's keep going. You're sitting there, maybe after a long day, wondering how to break this cycle of noise and distraction. It's not just about YouTube. It's about living in a way that feels whole, not fragmented. You want to lead your family, to walk with God, but the world's screaming at you to keep moving, keep doing. I felt that pull, brother. It's like trying to steer a truck with a flat tire, exhausting and going nowhere. Christ doesn't ask you to be everywhere at once. He's calling you to be right here, right now, with Him. I remember a night last year, wrench in hand, fixing a busted fence in my backyard. My phone was buzzing, a podcast playing, and my mind was on work. My son came out asking to help, but I brushed him off, too busy, too distracted. Later, I saw him playing alone, and it hit me like a punch. I wasn't there. Not really. That fence is still standing, but what I almost broke was my boy's trust. Moments like that show you what matters. Christ was there, waiting for me to notice. So, how do you start? First, try this. Set aside 10 minutes tonight. No phone, no noise. Just you and God. Talk to Him like you'd talk to a friend about your stress, your doubts, whatever's heavy. It's not about fancy prayers. It's about being honest. I started doing this in my garage, just sitting with a coffee, letting Christ meet me in the quiet. It's awkward at first, but it's where you find your footing. That's where faith starts to feel real. Second, pick one moment tomorrow to be fully present with your family. Maybe it's breakfast with your kids or a walk with your wife. Turn off the radio, the TV, the YouTube. Look them in the eyes. Listen. I did this with my daughter last week. Asked her about her day. No distractions. She lit up, and I felt God in that moment, steadying me. It's not about fixing everything. It's about showing up, letting Christ guide how you love. Third, when you catch yourself multitasking, pause. Ask, what am I running from? Maybe it's fear of failing or the weight of being the strong one. I used to fill every second with noise to avoid feeling like I wasn't enough. Jesus says in John 16:33, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." He's not asking you to outrun your struggles. He's asking you to face them with Him, one moment at a time. This isn't about being a perfect man or a spiritual giant. It's about being real. You're not going to stop all distractions overnight. I still slip up, leaving a video on while I'm supposed to be working. But every time you choose presence over noise, you're choosing Christ. You're leading your family by showing them a man who's learning to walk with God, not just talk about Him. That's what they'll remember. Think of your life like a workshop. You've got tools scattered everywhere, half-finished projects, noise blaring from a radio. You can't build anything good like that. Clear the bench. Pick one thing, your faith, your family, and give it your full attention. Christ is the craftsman, not you. He's shaping you, your home, your heart, if you let Him. It's slow work, but it's solid. I'm not here to push you to be something you're not. I'm just a guy who's been where you are, worn out, distracted, wondering if I'm enough. Christ doesn't need you to be a hero. He needs you to be honest, to stop running, stop hiding behind noise. Your family doesn't need a performance. They need you, present and real. God's not keeping score. He's walking with you right now in the mess.
This is an invitation, brother, not to a channel, but to a brotherhood. To walk as men of faith, not perfect, but awake. Stay with me here. Let's keep learning how to live with Christ at the center, one honest step at a time. Share your story, your struggles in the comments. Let's carry this together. You're not alone, and you don't have to figure it out by yourself. May God bless you deeply, and may you walk awake with Christ at the center.